Hi guys, so I've decided to make a YouTube video to show my Arrow video collection. It's actually a year this month that I started collecting them, so I thought I'd kind of show my small catalogue off that I have so far. This is a small shout out to the 22 shots of Moods and Horror, of JP, Moods, and of course Jeremy. Don't want to be on the Hall of Fuckers, do I? These guys have been an inspiration for this. It's something that I enjoy watching, the YouTube videos and of course the podcast, and the Facebook page is great for, it's really helped my knowledge in the horror genre expand, as well as the guys over Exploding Heads and Derek from Cinema Attack. So, well, let's just get into it now. So first we have Battle Royale. This is a superb edition of a great film. I think Battle Royale and The Ring were the first Japanese or Asian films that I saw back in the early 2000s, maybe right at the end of 1999 or something like that. And it really helped my kick for the early to mid 2000s of the Asian cinema. Really got me into that. Next we have John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China. And this one is quite a step away from his normal films, but really, really well made, good fun film. And I think it shows on screen that how much fun he had making it as well. Really enjoyed that one. Here we have Dario Argento's Bird of the Crystal Plumage. This is some fantastic artwork on here, but unfortunately it's not one that I've watched yet. I have a huge pile of films to watch. I think it's, well, huge, it's down to about 50 now, but it was 70 or 80 at one point. So I'm slowly cutting it down, but this is one that I still need to watch, and I need to watch it soon. Next we have Brain Damage. Now this Arrow release is the first time that I'd seen this film by Frank Enalata, and before this I'd only seen his Basket Case trilogy, and those I really enjoy, but this was a big step up. This was a very, very well made film. It's one that needs to get more love. I think it probably is now with this edition being out there. More people will be able to pick it up. Then we go on to Bride of Reanimator, Brian Usner's Bride of Reanimator. Very, very good film. Very enjoyable. This little guy, he's good fun in it. But yeah, great sequel. Really enjoyed this one. Obviously not as good as the first one. It's very difficult for sequels to follow up being as strong, but I did enjoy this. Then we go on to Brian Trenchard Smith. Is that the name? Yes, Brian Trenchard Smith. The Australian director with his Dead End Drive-In, with his kind of utopian future. Really, really good film. It was actually Derek from Cinema Attack that was talking about this, and it's on the 22 Shots podcast, and he was the guest on there, and I think it was the Ausploitation episode, and they were talking about this, and it sounded fantastic, so I had to pick it up, and yeah, really, really enjoyed this. Then we have Deep Red, and for the longest time Tenebrae was my favourite Argento film. I've had that Anchor Bay DVD for probably about 15 years now, and then earlier this year I picked this up, and it's very, very close to overtaking Tenebrae. At the moment they're neck and neck, but I've seen Tenebrae a lot more, and the more I watch this, the closer it comes to a 10 out of 10. So I think in the next couple of watches this will become my number one Argento. Great score, great acting, great suspense. Really, really well made film. Definitely a 10 out of 10 actually. Yep, there you go, Marco. Deep Red is now my favourite Dario Argento film. Next we go on to Demons, Demons 1 and Demons 2, the Italian Gonzo films. These are crazy. It's so much fun. Well, I was going to say especially the first one. They're both really good. Great soundtracks, great gore, great special effects, great setting as well. The first in the cinema, the second in the high-rise tower. Really, really, really enjoy these films. Then we go on to my brand new edition. This came in today, Donnie Darko. This was beautiful, and I actually missed the Region 2 release of this, but saw that actually Region 1 was still going at very, very reasonable price, so I picked this up for I think less than $30, so very pleased with that. We'll be popping that in soon. Then we go on to Hellraiser. The first film, I saw that early 90s when I was like 11, 12, something like that, and loved it. I wish Clive Barker made more movies. Such a great body shock horror film. The second one, equally as good. Some would say better, but I think because I grew up with Hellraiser, I have that kind of affinity to it. Hell on Earth, it's good, but it doesn't hold up as well as the other two. There's a few cheesy elements in there, but as a trilogy, really well. As a trilogy. Let's not talk about the others. A House collection. Wow, this is fantastic. The House 1 I grew up with as a kid. Remember Big Ben used to freak the hell out of me. And I'd not seen any of these others before. House 2, kind of like it's a bit goofy, but really, really had a lot of fun with that. The third one, it's not a house film, but it's a really well made horror film. It's very dark and some good special effects in that. Really enjoyed that. And the fourth one, I've still not had a chance to watch yet, but I will get onto that at some point. Maybe not so urgent, because I've not heard great things about that. Then we go to Dario Argento's Inferno, and unfortunately this is another one that I've not had a chance to watch yet. Hopefully I'll get to that very soon. Maybe I'll try and do a double feature of Bird with the Crystal Plumage and this. So let me move these out of the way and get to my second row. So here we have Invasion of the Body Snatchers. This is one of my favourite horror films. This is also one of my favourite remakes. This is such a well-made atmospheric film that it's just really, really eerie, and the dread grows the whole time through it. And imagine me being a kid when I saw this for the first time. It's really, really claustrophobic, but really, really great film. This, along with The Thing, of course, and with The Fly, the best remakes there are out there. Maybe The Hills Have Eyes as well. That's a very, very, very good remake. And The Thing special edition I have coming in I believe in a couple of weeks. I can't wait to get my hands on that. Next we have Tobe Hooper's Life Force, or Toby Hooper, depending on however you want to say. I think it's Toby Hooper. Now this doesn't get a lot of slack, this film, but I think this is a really well made film. It's interesting. Yeah, it's a little long, but it keeps you going the whole way through. It doesn't drag at all. It's interesting, and there's plenty going on. Yeah, this was well made, and I really like the special effects. Yeah, space vampires. Here we have Madman Mars. So this was a first time watch. So this is a genre, the slasher genre, that I know most horror fans probably, it's their favourite genre. And it's actually one of my least favourite genres. It's something that I've wanted to try and get into, so this year I decided to start picking more up. Even some of the classics I've not seen. So for example, I grabbed Black Christmas, Maniac, The Burning, and yeah, really, really enjoying what I'm seeing so far, and I can't really understand why I didn't like them when I was younger, but better late than never. This is another very, very, very well made film. Film by Neil Jordan. I like The Company of Wolves. And this was actually recommended by Derek from Cinema Attack. And this is a superb performance by Bob Hoskins. Very, very emotional. Highly, highly recommend this film. I don't know if many people have seen this, but you should. Maybe not quite on the emotional level of the last film, but Motel Hell is great fun. Now, all I remembered from a kid seeing this are people buried in the floor moaning because they've had their vocal cords cut. But this was really good fun. I enjoyed this one. Great ending too. Then we go to the zombie film or infected film by Umberto Lenzi. Now, I'd say infected because there's intelligence here and they're using weapons and they're running around like mad bastards. So anything like that, I kind of lean towards infected rather than zombie. Really enjoyable film. Is the ending a cop-out? I don't know. I kind of like the dark cycle to it. This phenomena probably has one of the best soundtracks that I've ever heard to a film. And the cinematography on this is superb. Very, very, very good film. Maybe the story isn't quite as good as the soundtrack and the setting, but really well acted. And I enjoyed this. Yeah, it was a good film. I recommend it. Then we go to J.P. Simon, I think, the Spanish director. Chainsaw slasher movie. Great gore in this. What can you say? It's exactly what you think it is. Really good fun. And a great addition. Arrow really knocked these out of the park. Superb. Then we go to another film, unfortunately, I've not seen. I believe we have Sid Haig in this. I don't actually know a lot about it. It's a £5 sale that they had, so I decided to pick it up. And yeah, unfortunately, I've still not seen it. I'll pop it in at some point. And then we have some Canadian goodness. Rabid. Very, very cool film. Yeah. I think most people have seen this. And is it Monroe or Marilyn Chambers or something? The woman in this, very beautiful. And yeah, it's not what I was expecting. It's a couple of years ago when I did actually first watch this, but there was more story than I was expecting. For some reason, I was just expecting something maybe like The Crazies, but no, very well made film. Really enjoyed this one. Cronenberg, always great. Superb edition of a superb film. Really, really, really great film by Stuart Gordon. Really enjoyed this. I don't know why I'd never picked this film up, but yeah, great performance. Really enjoyed the special effects. Really, really interesting story. And of course, you have superb acting. Jeffrey Combs. Yeah, it's a shame that he doesn't get more credit for his acting because he's a great character actor. He does a really, really good job. I don't know, should you call him a character actor? I think a very underrated film that he's in is The Frighteners. The film is underrated, I think, and his performance in it. And I think it was mentioned on the Exploding Heads podcast that in Canada that was kind of, I don't know, maybe set up as a kids film. And no, that's not a kids film. Yeah, it starts off a little goofy, but by the end, it's very, very dark. Some of the kills in that, and especially keep forgetting his name. How do I forget that name? Jeffrey Combs. His character. Jeez. It's off the wall. So here we go to Brian De Palma's Sisters. Now, probably quite an unknown film when you talk to mainstream cinema goers, but this is a superb film. Arguably one of his best, and Margot Kidder, she is fantastic in this. Very, very, very well made film, and some superb cinematography. Really, really, really enjoy it, especially when it goes to split screen. Here we have another A.J. Simmons. J.P. Simmons, sorry. Yeah, Slugs. This is one I didn't know much about, and yeah, what can you say? Slugs. A great 80s killer slug movie. Good fun. Oh, Tenebrae. What did I do to you? Yeah, I've just bumped you as my number 2, Argento. Superb film. Really, really, really good. Had the Anchor Bay for many, many years, and when I saw this for £10 and I had to grab this, and it's really, really nice addition. Fantastic film. Absolutely fantastic, Charlotte. Next we go to The Beast Within. I've only seen half of this. This was not what I was expecting at all. I was expecting a run-of-the-mill kind of werewolf film, and well, for what I've seen so far, it's definitely not heading that way, but it's really good. Really enjoying it, so I need to finish that. Fulci, my second favourite Fulci film. Very, 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 very well made, atmospheric, dark, creepy, scary film. It can't dislodge zombie, but I had zombie for the longest time. I had it on VHS, probably one of the first zombie films I've ever seen, alongside Dawn of the Dead, and yeah, it's a great film, full of nostalgia, but this is a very close second. Very, very good film. The Guyver. Now, last time I saw this, I think it was my 10th birthday. It was in the video store, and it's one I wanted to grab because it looked cool, and I think Power Rangers were around at that time or just coming out. Okay, it's kind of adult Power Rangers. I think it's from a manga comic, not one that I've seen, but it's fun. It's fun. It's not really the greatest, but Michael Berryman's in it. I was going to say I didn't realise that, but I don't think I realised who Michael Berryman was when I was 10. I've probably only ever seen him in Weird Science. So, The Hills Have Eyes. Speaking of Michael Berryman, now this was the first Arrow release that I picked up almost a year ago now. Superb edition. Very, very scary, freaky film that holds up really well. And as I said earlier, I think has spawned one of the best remakes that we've ever had. Superb film. Highly, highly recommend this, and a beautiful edition. Then we go to Videodrome. My favourite Cronenberg. Really, really twisted film. Superb. James Woods does a really, really good job, and so does Debbie Harry, actually. Very, very strange film, and this is again one that I probably saw a little younger than I probably should have, and I didn't really get it. I remember actually picking it up on VHS along with... what was that other film? This is like a 70s horror. It doesn't matter anyway. Really, really, really good film. The older I got, the more I watched it, the more I enjoyed it. Demon Seed, that was the other video I got at the same time. And the last is The Visitor. Now this was picked up in the same sale as Pit Stop, but I have watched this one. And this was crazy. Good fun. Good crazy fun. To try and figure out what was going on, I actually watched the Lance Henriksen interview, and he said it was just crazy as well. but I'd recommend it. Yeah, it's enjoyable. So that's my collection that I have. As I mentioned earlier, I have The Thing on its way, and I've also just pre-ordered the Carrie special edition. So again, I just wanted to shout out quickly thank you to the 22 Shots guys, JP, Moods and Jeremy, and of course Derek from Cinema Attack and the Exploding Heads guys. Especially the Facebook pages and the podcasts, well, and the YouTube videos, you've really expanded my knowledge of the horror genre. It's really blown up in this last year, and thank you. And yeah, you've influenced me to make this first video, so let's see if I make any more. But thank you guys. Peace out.